testimonies about what the oils can do to our health, and also some health facts related to the oils. This has been a journey of discovery for us as a family, for us. My name is Candy, and my wife is Clara. So it's been a journey of discovery for us now for several years. And we've been fascinated that we've been able to start this journey, and not alone, but together with our daughter Caroline and also our very dear friend Jody Ravinov. So this meeting is going to have a brief time of some health facts as well as some testimonies, and also time for questions. So you can put your questions. We'll see probably just free in the microphone, or if you want to type them in the chat, that's also possible. So I will start with a testimony of my own. Um, I've experienced the oils in different ways, as well as the wonderful supplements that Terra offers us. But one of the testimonies that's really been powerful for me is that, as I hear from many other men, we have sometimes trouble with back pain. And it's one of those things that comes on and off. Sometimes it'll take you to bed. It's so difficult. So in my case, even through the times of change and transition that we're going through, in September, I had a time where it looked like all the tension got transpired in my back at the height of my my waist, and it was so bad that I had several nights where I could hardly sleep, and the nerve that we have, the sciatica nerve that we have at the back, was inflamed. My wife was so kind to give me some massage, and she could sense the lumps of the muscles like a little ball. And I said, what oils can I do? And then I reminded myself that I had bought this from doTERRA, which is a kind of an ointment with 7 different oils. Okay. So it comes like in a cream. I dabbed it. Rather, my wife dabbed it in my back at least 2-3 times a day, morning, evening, before going to bed, and sometimes during the day. And I can say that, the pain was horrible. In 2 weeks, the whole thing went, and we're still going through, a lot of change. But during the months of October and November, now in December, my back has been fine, and I've had none of that. So it's been a great way of not using ibuprofen or any other substitute for pain, and have something natural applied to my back that is, put my muscles in total relaxation, and my sciatica nerve back to normal. Yeah.
My experience is similar to Candy, but before I share my testimony. We came to know the essential oils through a very good friend of ours. She's from Israel. She and her husband are pastors of a group, a congregation of survivors of the Holocaust, and they are both psalmists. But she knew about the essential oils, and I was going through a very very tough moment in my health. So she said to us, "Why you don't try the oils?" And I started to use them, and obviously, I tried also before the medicines, but the second effects were terrible for me. So I said, well, let us try it. But it was a beautiful experience for us, especially for me, because I tried also Candy's deep blue here on my neck, because I have a very tough pain on my neck, and it seems to go up my mind. I couldn't think properly, and it was awful. But the doctors never found what it was. But I just had, as I had tried sleeping was also very difficult for me. So I tried a lavender, helped me a lot, the deep blue, and also I tried the the tea tree oil for a fungus. But I have a favorite one, and it's this one. Yes, Melissa. It is something that I put two drops on the top, on the roof of my mouth, and I am myself again. It is something incredible, really. I really praise God because of that, and also I I just like to help other people with the oil or the oils, because when you don't have a way out, you have to try others, and this is something that has worked with us very beautiful. Mm.
Great. So I think we have our friend Jody in. Let me see. Jody.
Jody.
Good evening.
This
Welcome.
is our friend.
Hi.
Hi.
You are the one.
Yes. Nice to see
So
you.
good to have you with us.
Buenas noches and good evening from Israel.
So we have some very dear friends joining us for the oils. Jody, very much
Very good.
welcome. And we went on a humanitarian trip to Cuba together with another couple of pastors. And it was then that I learned that Jody had been a natural practitioner for 45 years. She's dealt with over 1,000 people, helped them, and continues helping them in her own house. She's got an amazing heart of compassion, and also she wants to see people healthy and healed. And it's just such an honor to have Jody with us tonight, and she's going to tell us some amazing facts about our health and what the oils can do in our bodies. So welcome, Jody, and some personal testimonies as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Candido and Clara. Shalom. And Caroline and all of you. It's so great to see you, Saleya, and yes, everybody else that's joining us tonight. We had a house full of people joining us this evening. So I'm so sorry I'm a few minutes late. They just walked out the door. And but it's really great to be with you. And one day, Candido, I would really like to go back to Cuba, and I would like to do some teaching on natural healthcare. And it's so needed in Cuba with sugar being the main crop.
Yes.
So yeah. Yes, I would like to share with you a little bit about my story. And first I'll introduce you. Let me share my screen here. Let me see. Did you make me a co-host already?
Yeah.
In it?
Yes.
Okay. Caroline, you're just becoming so good at this. I'm very grateful. Let me see. How do where's that little
Green button.
Oh, the green button. Yes, I have to go back to the right screen. Hello. Okay, this grandma will get techie. Okay, so here, here, and here, and now we have it, right?
Yes. Well
Okay,
done.
so just a little bit about my family. We come from a small family. I only had one brother, and Alyosha and I had two children. Our firstborn is Josiah, the tall one on the end. And he's lives in Virginia with his wife, Sarah, and two gorgeous granddaughters. Josiah is a doctor and working in the whole natural health care field as well. And then our daughter, Yasmin, she actually came first to Israel and joined the Israeli army. She's quite courageous and an amazing young woman. And she met her husband. He was after the army, she went to media school in Jerusalem and met her husband. He was her teacher, Ville, and they moved to Finland for a time anyway. And so this is our little family. And and then go to the next screen. One of the reasons why I started getting involved in natural health care when I was, actually it started when I was 20 years of age, around 20. And my mother, when she was 54, she got cancer, and I ended up taking care of her for a whole year before she passed away. But I did take her to the Gerson Clinic in Mexico, and where I met Dr. Charlotte Gerson Strauss and many doctors who were battling cancers in their patients there. And I started to learn about detoxification and building up the body and the blood. And then my father, he had 3 open heart surgeries before he passed away at the age of 70. So even with him, I was trying to help him as well with his health. And then my brother, when my brother, about 6 years ago, he got a glioblastoma brain tumor. He was using cell phones from the beginning when they even knew that they could cause cancer from the radiation. And so I battled with him some with his life and what he was going through. And he, as I mentioned, passed away about 6 years ago from this glioblastoma brain cancer. And then our daughter, when she was, oops, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Let me just minimize this. Our daughter, when she was 4, we were traveling on the West Coast of the United States for about 6 weeks, doing concerts with my husband. And we were eating out a lot, and she was eating the children's meals. And of course, what do they give children in children's meals? They give them lots of fried foods like French fries with lots of ketchup, burgers or chicken fingers, which are also deep fried with, maybe chemical preservatives. And of course, sugary drinks and things like that, and desserts. And anyway, 6 weeks of that, and she got something like juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. So very dear friend of mine, when she started having fevers, and she was crippled by nighttime, a very dear friend of mine who is a doctor who treated naturally told me, Jody, your daughter she doesn't have juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. She said that is a label that the doctors give to what they don't know how to fix. So she said, if you do what I tell you to do, she will be without any pain in 2 weeks. I said, are you serious? I've really been, really battling for my daughter in prayer and really seeking God to show me what to do for her. And I just didn't know what to do for her. She said she needs to detoxify her body. And so she put her on a special diet, and we had to juice for her 3 times a day and give her enzymes and vitamins and get her off of everything that was inflammatory. So I did that, and in 2 weeks, she was without any pain at the age of 4. So it's, from that point on, it turned me really back into the whole arena of natural health care. And it's really a battle that we're in. When we think of our bodies, what's going on under the skin, what's going on in our blood, because the life of the flesh is in the blood, it's in our blood. And so if we have a clean bloodstream and a good immune system, our body will battle everything that enters it. We have a really good army, actually, like the IDF. And it's really important that we keep up this army and that we keep our bloodstream clean. And so I would like to show you a little bit about what I studied, because I did go through 2 schools of what we call dark field microscopy. That's using a microscope and learning how to analyze what we're seeing in the microscope and in the blood. This is the setup I was using. And for example, these are red blood cells. That's normal red blood cells. And you'll see they're nice and round. The light behind them is coming through the microscope. There's a light that shines through, so you can see basically the shape and what's in the plasma in between the red blood cells. And then here's a sample of my blood at the time that I was working with my microscope. Let's see, where is it? I'm not seeing the picture. I don't know if it's maybe just loading.
Yeah, I can't see anything either. Could be loading because the bar is moving.
It looks like it's loading, huh?
Mhm.
Hopefully. And I do that before. Let me.
I'll try and come back to it.
Maybe we'll come back after. Okay. So when we're looking at blood, this is a rod form of bacteria. And we don't want to see these kind of things in the blood. And in this particular sample, you can see the red blood cells are on top of each other. And in this kind of a condition, we don't see that the blood is able to get proper oxygenation and nutrition also, because the blood needs to be free floating, free, not on top of each other. This is where we see the blood clumping up like that. This is a neutrophil, white blood cell engulfing a anthrax bacteria. Looks like a rod. And this is what our blood is designed to do. It's designed to attack anything that shouldn't be in there. So if we're sick and we're tired, and sometimes we get sick and tired of being sick and tired, but what are we really dealing with? We're dealing with symptoms, but what do those symptoms represent? They represent inflammation. And what causes inflammation? Toxins, traumas, infections. And this inflammation causes things like muscle pain, joint pain, temperature dysregulation. People get hot and cold very easily, depression and mood changes, trouble sleeping, hormone dysregulation, headaches, fatigue. Sometimes we get emotional malice, angry edge, brain fog, we can't think clearly, inability to handle stress, we get edgy, dizziness, weight loss, and weight loss resistance, hard time losing weight, digestive problems, gas, flatulence, acid problems, high and low blood pressure. All of that can be caused by inflammation and toxins and poisons that we need to clean out our house. So if we want really to have good health, we have to build a really good foundation. And we have to level this foundation and get rid of the rubble. You see all these stones? These are like a sample of what needs to come out of that foundation to really build something that's secure. And that's true for our bodies too. We need to get rid of rocks of offense, stones that cause us to stumble, poisons, toxins, physically and emotionally, bitterness, anger, and resentment, and depression. Do we want a house like this with a foundation like this, or do we want a foundation like this? Or the last one that we saw. We want to build a good foundation. I want to give you an example of one of my clients. This was Elaine. And I didn't usually take pictures of my clients, but this time, because Elaine came in on her deathbed, she could hardly open her eyes. You can see she's not Chinese, by the way, or Asian. She just couldn't open her eyes. And you see that there's a line here. These were oxygen. It was an oxygen tube that helped her to breathe. And she had this long name of a disease, and it was called ADEM, which was basically lesions on the brain. She was taking 7 pharmaceuticals, and she was bedridden and told to get her paperwork ready, that there was nothing more they could do for Elaine. So she just laid in bed all day and didn't have any energy. What I saw in Elaine was basically this. It was, this condition with her blood. And inside of her blood, she had these microorganisms in all of her cells. And so you can see here, they were pulling their way out of the cells, out of the blood cells. And when they would get free, they would just wiggle. And so it was really, really a problem. This one also. I'm going to go back for 1 second, see if I can see if that other one, that other video is even capable of running. Let me see. Will it go now? I don't know what happened to my, yeah, something happened. I have to check that. But let's see the next one that we have. These are samples of what I see in so many people were coming in with sicknesses. When I look at their blood, I saw these little rod bacterias like we saw in Elaine's blood. And you can see them coming out. These are different forms of bacteria. We call it pleomorphic bacteria, structures that are in the blood that should not be in the blood. And so we want to, again, our goal is to clean house, to clean up the intestines, to clear up what we call leaky gut. And that is when these little guys get into the tissue, they can actually burrow into tissue and create holes, basically, which we call leaky gut, and get into the bloodstream from the intestines. So we really want to clean up the house. We want to restore and rebuild the gut with good bacteria and cleansing. And here again, let's see. I don't know what's happening with my videos. Usually we're seeing this move on the screen. Let's see. See now. I haven't seen this happen before. So I'm not quite sure why it's doing this, you guys.
Don't worry, Jody. That's okay.
Okay. Well, basically, you can get the point. This is the same lady after she cleansed her blood. We used all the different things that come from creation with no toxicity, no pharmaceuticals, and no side effects. And this is just 3 months after Elaine walked into my office in her bedridden condition, got on a good program to cleanse and restore. And this is Elaine, she's happy and only periodically needing oxygen, not very often. And then now you can see Elaine 8 months later, and she's working out in a gym an hour a day, and she feels fantastic. No more on oxygen, no pharmaceuticals needed, got her life back. She's in her 60s and she's feeling fantastic, and she's still alive today, and very grateful lady. So here's another example of, we're using essential oils. And the reason why I love essential oils is because they permeate into the red blood cells, they permeate through the tissue, and the molecules are so tiny that they're able to get rid of many different types of problems. This little boy, Yaron, his parents called me up, his mother did, and said, oh, he has a sinus infection and an ear infection. And she sent me his picture right here. And I thought, oh boy, look at that eye. It's just so looks like painful, right? And I just felt so bad. So we worked together. I just made some suggestions of what might be helpful and beneficial for him. So she used the essential oils and some vitamin C. And then you can see the eye here has all the swelling began to go down. And then she called me and she said, oh, today I think I made a big boo-boo. I used oregano oil on his cheek. Well, she was supposed to use a carrier oil with a little bit of tea tree oil right along here and on a cotton ball in the ear to get it through, you know, to get the infection out of the ear. And she said, I think I burned his cheeks. And I said, well, don't worry. Just get some lavender and a carrier oil and let's put some lavender on there. And 2 hours later, this is the same little boy. You can see that all the redness was gone. She called back and she said, I'm so relieved. He's almost like 85% better with his cheeks. And this is him the next day, just totally normal. And this is him, a happy little boy. And they changed their diet. They got rid of a lot of the foods that he was eating that wasn't really helpful for his body, for his nutrition. So yes, so I love essential oils because they impact every single blood cell very, very quickly. And here's a few facts about them. How fast do essential oils work? They work really fast. In just 22 seconds, an essential oil versus an herb, it will reach the brain. In 2 minutes, it's found in the bloodstream. When we can take the oils both internally and for little children like that, we use them on the soles of their feet, and we can do that with an adult too. And in 20 minutes, in just 20 minutes, an essential oil, one drop, is able to affect every cell in our body. And that is so amazing. And here is a little picture too of before somebody is taking 1 drop of balance oil on the feet. And you can see that the red blood cells are compacted on top of each other. We call that erythrocyte aggregation, so that it's blood clumping up and poor oxygenation, foggy thinking, lack of energy. I can tell you, if I see this under a microscope, I can tell the person what they feel like because I know what they feel like. And in just 30 seconds, with 1 drop, you can see the blood starts to break up and starts to be more free floating and can get oxygen and nutrition and better circulation. That's just 1 drop of blood surfacing every cell in our body. So that's pretty amazing. And the oils that we've chosen to work with have a stamp on them called CPTG, that's certified pure and therapeutic grade. So we know that the oils that we're working with are really tremendous and able to really be effective. So we don't have to guess. We know that they're going to be effective. So I just wanted to share those few things with you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit. And I'm so sorry my videos didn't work. Hopefully next time. All right, Candido.
Thank you, Jody, for your amazing input. That's really great. And we're so thrilled that when Caroline, our daughter, had, so many, hold on, let me see if we can get the screen. Caroline, can you get me the different screens so that people will be able to, hold on, to see? Here we are. So I was saying that when Caroline got several health challenges, she was the one that said there must be something else. So she started the road of researching a lot, reading a lot, and finding amazing alternatives. So we were able to be in that together. Thank you, Caroline, for being with us tonight. You've really taken the purpose, the aim of living yourself and experiencing the power of the oils, the healing power of the oils in your own health. And we're so blessed to have your experience sharing with us and all our friends. Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mum. Thank you, Dad. Very excited to have you here in a few days. So for those who don't know, I'm all the way on the other side of the Atlantic in Bogota, Colombia. You can see just through this, it's still daylight here. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, but it's lovely that we can get together still through Zoom. So for those who don't know me, my name's Caroline, and I heard about the oils through Jodie 3 years ago when I was in her house. From the moment I came in, I just noticed, what is this smell? This is amazing. You can just notice the difference. And now that happens when people come to my house. They say the same thing. They say, what is this smell? People sometimes even say when they're coming down the corridor, and we knew it was coming from your apartment. So that's a wonderful thing, that even without having to put the oils on you, you can smell them from a distance and you can know that it's something different. So I love to serve in my local church. I love to spend time with my nephews, but another thing I love to do is to teach about essential oils. So thank you so much for connecting today. I believe that after you hear this presentation, and already with what Jodie's shared, I believe your life will be changed, like it was for me and for my parents. And even I would dare to say that your generations will be changed, because the habits that you build in your health, you can then teach them to your children and your children's children. And I can assure you that that can make a life of a difference for your generations. So my intention today is to help you to understand just a bit more, just to add, if I may, to what Jodie's already explained about essential oils, and for you obviously to be able to put it into practice, and you to have your own personal testimony. I can say in my case, when I touched down to Colombia 2 years ago, it was a very chilly night, and whenever I was exposed to very cold weather, my throat was the first to suffer, and effectively I landed. My welcome present was a throat infection when I arrived, and it was very uncomfortable. It was near Christmas, around these kind of dates, so I didn't want to really be stuck in a hospital or go to a GP. And then I remembered I've packed my oils. So I wrote to Jodie and said, Jodie, I've only got 3 oils. What should I do? And she said, those are the 3 ones you need. So I braved myself to down oregano. If you know what oregano is oil is one of the strongest ones, but I was just so desperate. I would not advise you to do that without a capsule. I'll explain that in a moment, but they did the job, which is the good news. They did the job, and basically since then I haven't had a throat infection. It's been 2 years and I've been perfectly fine. So I think each of us have a personal story. That's mine, and many others. I had some verrugas here on my finger as well. They fell off just with essential oils. My skin's much better, my digestive system. So I've got loads and loads of testimonies. But just to summarize and make the most of your time as well, I would like to share with you today 3 cool things about essential oils. It's that simple. If you can repeat these 3 cool things to maybe the person you live with, your family member, a friend on the other side of the line, then I feel that I've done my job today. So what are those 3 cool things? Very simple. Number 1, they are safe. Essential oils are safe because they are 100% natural. There's nothing added to the oil, nothing taken away from it. You'll be surprised if you go into a natural food store, you will find the label that says essential oil, but it won't usually be 100% essential oil. It will have something else in it. Well, doTERRA's oils are 100% essential oil. And that is what they are. They are pure. And that's why we don't have any side effects when we use those essential oils. And when we refer to essential oil, this is what it looks like. As my parents are showing at the beginning, it's a glass bottle, right, that has a liquid inside. You can see that this is peppermint. And this is basically extract from peppermint. That's all it is. It's extracted in a way that it will preserve the qualities of the oil. So many times it's not, no heat is used to not alter the properties, right? And these are the plants that we already know have amazing health benefits. So if you go even into a pharmacy, you usually find, for example, digestive tablets will have a bit of peppermint in it. Well, if you think that 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to you having taken 28 cups of peppermint tea. 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to having taken 28 cups of peppermint tea. That's amazing, the concentration. And that's why when we talk about essential oils, we really just need something as small as this and dosage in drops. And Jodie, as she was explaining, the doTERRA essential oils have CPTG. They are therapeutic grade, which is beyond organic. And that means that they can be, most of them, ingested, taken internally. And doTERRA has gone another mile ahead and actually printed on the let's just stop sharing for a moment, printed here on the bottom of each bottle a serial number that you can go online and actually have the laboratory results of how doTERRA tests every batch of essential oil they produce to certify that they are pure and that for those that can be taken internally, they don't have any contaminants. So that's, they don't have to do that to sell them, but they choose to certify all of their oils. And you will also have the expiry date here at the bottom. And in this case, it's 2025. And I bought that this year. So that's 5 years of usage life. So what would you use peppermint for example? Well, it's great for headaches. You can literally, don't need to take out a whole drop, just dab your finger on the top as I'm doing here and put it here on the sides of your head, and then feel how the oil comes in and relieves the head tension. And it's great for people with migraines. You can take a single drop, and it's great also for breathing and people with those breathing problems. So when we talk about, just another interesting fact, when we talk about the plant in oil, we're looking at 50 to 70 times more powerful than the herbs themselves. And our grandparents and great-grandparents used herbs, and they are well known for their benefits. But now we are seeing how essential oils take that to the next level. And doTERRA have done an amazing work of investigation to find out where in the world are the places where these essential oils are grown the best, have the best conditions, both in rainfall as in sunshine, to be able to give us the best quality of essential oil there is. Because you can go to your Holland & Barrett, as actually many of my friends have done, and then unfortunately they've come back saying, well, it did work, but I don't think it was as powerful as what you'd said. Well, this is why, because doTERRA goes to, you can see here the whole world, the map itself of all the countries where they've chosen to go and go into the whole work of finding farmers, partnering with farmers to grow the plants where they are native, where they natively come from, and where they have the best growing conditions. So even though I buy this essential oil of lavender, for example, most of the lavender that doTERRA produces comes from Bulgari. So I have this lavender that I bought all the way here in Colombia, but I know that this lavender is the best I can find because doTERRA has brought it all the way from Bulgari to Colombia, where I'm buying it. And that's the same where you are in the UK or if you're in another country. So that's the first cool thing about essential oils. We said they are safe. Number two, they are effective. And what do we mean by effective? They are an effective way to address the root cause of health problems. So let's go back to Biology 101, very simple lesson. Let's talk about the most elemental system in the body. It's a cell. And a cell is covered by a oily membrane, which is the difference that we see here between these two tones of blue. And this oily membrane basically just covers, just meets the basic needs of a cell, which is to keep the bad things out and keep the good things in the cell so that it can reproduce itself and have everything it needs, right? Now, let's talk about the occasion when you would go to your, okay, let me take a step back. We've got two things that can harm a cell. We've got a bacterial form, which is here on the outside, and we've got a viral form, which is in the inside, right? These are the two enemies of a cell. One is on the outside, one's on the inside. And the virus in the inside has the ability to duplicate the DNA inside the cell, and that way reproduce malignant cells. Now, let's say that you went to your doctor with a bacterial infection. What would your doctor usually recommend? An antibiotic. You would take that antibiotic for 7 to 10 days in most cases, right? And it will usually do the job, clear up the infection. but often it will come with wreaking havoc to your gut because it will destroy your good bacteria and can bring imbalances to your hormones and even affect your immune system, because next time you have a bacterial infection, you'll probably need a stronger antibiotic. Now, what happens if you had a flu, if you had a virus, sorry, like a flu, what would your doctor usually say? They would usually say, go home, drink a lot of water, rest, and let the virus run its course. Why is that? Well, the reason is that most modern recommendations to treat viruses are water-based synthetic agents. And what did we say covered the cell? An oily membrane. And a very basic lesson that we're taught is that water and oil don't mix. So if your recommendation of your doctor was water-based, it will have a really hard time penetrating that oily cell membrane and stop the duplication of a virus. What about essential oils? So essential oils are oil-based, which means that they can permeate the cell membrane. Woohoo! So we have essential oils that can treat bacteria on the outside and viruses on the inside. One thing that does the job for both, right? And it will not be wreaking havoc to your digestive system, your hormones, or bringing down your immune system. And that is the reason why we say that essential oils are usually more effective than the modern approach to health problems. And that's the second thing about essential oils. And I could not go beyond this point without mentioning this oil, On Guard. Saleha, Mitch is with us. Welcome, Saleha. Please tell us a bit more about this amazing oil.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right. Hi everyone. I'm Saleha. Just want to talk to you about On Guard and how I got to use that. In March this year, when the lockdown happened, I used to work up in central London, up in Euston, and I started to get really, really tired. I was so glad when our office said, look, everyone has to work from home. But I was getting more and more tired. I was getting headaches, throat dry, sense of smell going. So I had all the symptoms of COVID, and I wasn't too sure what to do. So I used to try and inhale, some steam to see whether that would help, with the breathing. And then I don't know whether it was Candido or whether it was Caroline that said, why don't you try, essential oils? And so I had an opportunity to get their a pack of oils. And what they recommended really was if I tried On Guard, then what that will do is it will help to boost my immune system. I also had a regime where every morning I would always squeeze lemon into hot water. And I often used to think to myself, is this really doing anything? But when I got the lemon essential oil, I just put 2 drops of that into my hot water as I would normally do. And I just found that I just literally just perked back up. Even my husband was just totally surprised, So I know that On Guard, this is it. Let's see. Can you see it? Here, yay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I know that it was the On Guard that really lifted me up from that situation. And the thing about On Guard is that it has cloves, it has wild orange, eucalyptus, rosemary, and cinnamon. I mean, how neat is that? It's just really simple, simple oil extracts from things, and that's why it agrees so well with our systems. But since then, my immune system has really been boosted. I constantly used to have headaches, and I, very, very rarely would I have to take a paracetamol now. I couldn't tell you within the last maybe 3 or 4 months, probably even longer than that, whether that I haven't taken a paracetamol, because somehow my balance has just come back to normal. So I'm just really happy with the oils, and I'm still learning. And I just use them as I need them. So there you go.
Thank you, Soleil. Amazing. Right, so On Guard, amazing oil. And actually this oil has run out in China at the beginning of the year. doTERRA have a post there. So it's the antiviral oil. So I won't say more, but well, sales speak for themselves. Let's have a look at the third cool thing about essential oil. We said first they were safe. Second, they were effective. Thirdly, they are affordable. They're affordable. Well, we've got a very, in a way, challenging situation in the UK because we don't actually pay for our medical care. So how could they actually be more affordable than the NHS when we don't pay for our medical insurance? Well, I will show you that it's even cheaper than traditional medical care, even if you don't pay medical insurance. So let's suppose that someone at home had an ear infection. If you had an ear infection, you would use 2 drops of tea tree oil, which is an antiseptic, and 2 drops of lavender, which is anti-inflammatory as well. You wouldn't introduce them into the actual ear, you would put them outside of the ear and with usually a bit of coconut oil as well. And you would wait 12 hours. And just with 2 drops of each, 12 hours later, that ear infection would have disappeared. How much did that cost you? Probably about 20 pence a drop. So probably the whole medication for less than £1, right? And let's say you went for traditional medical care, well, you probably would ask for an appointment at your GP. And you would probably go to your GP either taking a bus, so you'd pay public transport, or getting in your car, and you'd pay for your petrol. That would probably be a bit more than £1. And then you'd have to buy your medication in your local pharmacy. But what if it was a younger member of the family, probably had to take time off work or something else? So when you add up the costs, it is more expensive. And not to mention the prevention, that you have the oils at home and you have them as a natural way to treat infirmities. If it was something more serious and your doctor had recommended your child to have an antibiotic, then especially a child or even an adult would have to take a probiotic, as we mentioned before, to replenish the good bacteria, and that would obviously increase the cost as well of your treatment. So that's why we say that essential oils are also more affordable, because what we're looking at, although we have dollars here, a lot of people, when you add up how much you usually spend on healthcare a year, it is a lot of money. And we're looking at essential oils, we're looking at pennies per dose. That's what we use because they're so concentrated. So you save money, you do it in a natural way. And in a pandemic, you need solutions that you can have at home and you can have when you need them, because the least probable place we each want to be in this moment is in a healthcare center, in a hospital, right, to control our exposure. So we've got another testimony here from Emma, who would like to tell us about lavender oil, when she had something happen to her that could actually happen to any of us while we're at home. So let's hear Emma, what she's going to share.
Hello, everyone. I want to share a very quick video on what happened to my finger and how my finger got rescued with lavender. I was cooking and then I burnt my finger, if you can see there. Yeah, I burnt my finger, quickly put it under cold water, did the honey and everything. Nothing really helped. And then I thought, surely I must have something I can use. And I'd run out of all my oils. So it's not that I thought the lavender was the best thing. It's just that it's all I had left. So, and it was quite little left in the bottle. So what I did, I added some fractionated coconut oil to what was in it. And I rubbed it on the burn. And really, I'm not exaggerating, the pain stopped immediately. It was like magic. So the pain stopped. And I couldn't believe it. So the next morning when I went into the shower, I was taking my shower and I hit my finger and I got ready for the pain. And then I realized, there was still no pain. So throughout, there was no pain at all. Up until now that it's healing and peeling off, there has not been any pain. And like I said, it's not that I thought lavender was the best thing. It's just that that's all I had. So I just thought, surely one of the oils will do something for me. And then to add to it, yesterday, I sprained my wrist. I don't know what happened, maybe when I was trying to do weights or something, but my wrist was aching, yesterday. And I thought, okay, what am I going to use? And I thought, you know what, I'll go back to the lavender with the mixed lavender with the coconut oil. And I rubbed it there on the pain. And I woke up this morning and the pain was gone. So honestly, now I'm using I'm using what I've got left in there for everything. So the lavender seems to be my answer to everything now. I just wanted to share that testimony. But the burn, it was phenomenal. I could not believe how quickly the pain stopped. So you might want to try that. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Emma. Well, lavender is amazing for burns. It's number one for burns, but it's also great with children. It's one of the softest essential oils, and I use it on my 11-month-old nephew. I don't give him a whole drop. I just dab my finger and I put it in on his gums because he's teething, and it's great to calm children. So now we've learned the 3 cool things about essential oils, that they are safe, effective, and affordable. Let's have a look now how we can use them. There are 3 ways that we can use essential oils. And the first is aromatic. And we see here what the lady's doing. She's just simply opened up a bottle and smelled straight from the bottle, and you can do that. But you can also diffuse them as well. Why would we do that? Because these, when you smell the oils, they positively affect your mood, they cleanse the air, and they open the airwaves. So what is a diffuser? Let's have a look. I have one here right next to me. This is actually one that came with my starter pack when I signed up to doTERRA, and that's been more than a year ago, and he is working in perfect condition. We have the electric cable, and if I lift the lid, we've got it full of water. I won't tip that, but you'll believe me, it's full of water. And I've put in about 6 drops of peppermint oil, and it has a light that you can keep on if you want to, or you can switch it off. It has 3 different settings. In my case, this one has 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours, and it will let off steam with the essential oil. So without any effort, I can have this next to my desk, or I could have it in my night table, and without any effort, you're breathing in the oil. But perhaps some people are a bit skeptic, and they say, well, what difference will that make if you actually breathe it in? Can it actually have any effect? Well, let me demonstrate that your olfactic nerve is one of the most powerful nerves of the 5 senses that you have. And if you've been to the hospital and you've probably had an anesthetic administered by putting a mask around your mouth and nose, you've probably realized how powerful it is. When I went, they told me count to 10, and I didn't even get to 5. Just by smelling the gas in the mask, I was out. That's how powerful your olfactic nerve is. So when you breathe in the essential oils, in 20 seconds, they go to your brain, to your limbic system, and from there to the rest of your body. And we have testimonies from people that have suffered with a lot of breathing difficulties, asthma, children, adults, and the diffuser is a great help for them. We also have another testimony of a friend who had a nursery in her home, and children, they lived in Germany, so children would always around this time of the year be snotty and, from all the different viruses, and she began to diffuse On Guard that Solaire was telling us about. And the children would just smell the oil, and very quickly parents started to ask themselves, what are you giving them? Because none of the children are snotty anymore, and that was because of the On Guard that they were breathing in the oil. So diffusing is the first way. Aromatically is a great way to breathe in the oils. The second is topically. So you can apply to the affected area, as my dad was saying when he applied a deep blue to his back, and you'll have that benefit right in that location. And if you're using the oils, he was using the cream, deep blue, just show that again. And this has, as it says in the drawing, the essential oil in it, mint, cypress, and a lot of great helichrysum oils, great for the nerves and bringing down muscle inflammation. But you can also have and use the essential oil purely on the skin, as long as you dilute with coconut oil. doTERRA, from its research, has found that fractionated coconut oil is the best carrier oil. If you, for any reason, don't have a coconut oil to hand, you can also use good almond oil, avocado oil, even olive oil, and dilute it, usually 1 drop of essential oil to 3 of a carrier oil. For children or older people with more sensitive skin, you would obviously increase the drops of coconut oil. And what is the best place, in addition to wherever you have the pain, to use essential oils is the sole of your feet, because there you have the largest pores of your whole body. And I'll just show you with this quick image of the book, that's where you have the nervous endings to different organs of your body. So this is why you have here a drawing of a lung, right, and your spinal cord. So it's great. And once you build it in as a habit, like I have, every morning and every night before I get dressed or before I go to bed, I'll put some coconut oil and some essential oil. In the morning, I'll usually use peppermint, which is great to wake up. And at night, I'll use some balance, which has frankincense and blue tansy in it, which is lovely to balance and to take out all the stress of the day and be able to sleep wonderfully. So that's the second way of using essential oils topically. And thirdly is internally. Now, we only mention the use of internal use of essential oils for doTERRA essential oils because we can be assured of their quality and that they are apt for internal use. How can you use that internally? In water, in veggie caps, or under your tongue. Just because we're a bit short of time, I won't do the full demonstration, but this is a veggie cap. It's basically an empty capsule that you can actually buy from doTERRA or from Amazon. You would open the capsule, put a few drops of oil inside, close the capsule and swallow it with some water. And it's great for people who don't like the taste of essential oils or who are actually in a treatment and need several essential oils. To avoid them mixing and tasting weird, you can just mix them inside a capsule and take that internally. So that's the third way of using essential oils. Like my mum said, she uses it in the roof of her mouth or under the tongue, which we know is very effective. And the effects are quick. Now, to our surprise, to many people's surprise, the most sold product in doTERRA are not essential oils. They are these. This is the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and they are food-based vitamins. So we have, it's just 3 bottles. They come in a pack. We have the antioxidants, we have the omegas, and we have the vitamins and minerals. And this is the product that sells the most because they are food-based. I was amazed when I went into I think it was a Planet Organic food store in the UK, and I asked for food-based vitamins and they hardly had any, right? So when you usually buy a vitamin C in your pharmacy, vitamin C, that it won't be extracted from an orange, it will be made in a laboratory. Well, this is the difference. These are from food. They're not made in a laboratory, and your body will differentiate what's coming from food and what is synthetic. But I'll leave it to Dorcas, who will tell us in her own words the difference that this Vitality Pack made for her. She's actually a nurse by profession, so I think she was even more surprised of the result.
Hi, my name is Dorcas. I'm based in the UK. I'm a mother of 2, and I just want to give a testimony regarding the doTERRA products that I've been using. I only started using them a few months ago. Basically, what happened is I've got 2 girls, and after the second girl I had, she's 22 years now, I started having problems with my digestive system, and this led to me having constipation. You know, you don't talk about these things because when you're young, you think it's an old people's thing. So it becomes part of you. So over the years, I ended up developing piles, hemorrhoids. It's nasty. And it became a way of life with me. All the time I had to carry suppositories around because you never know when it happens. And a few months ago, I started using the doTERRA products, and only recently I realized that I wasn't using the suppositories or laxatives anymore, and it suddenly clicked that it was the doTERRA products, because I started using this Vitality Pack, and ever since then, my 22 years problem has been rectified. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You don't know how I feel, because for people who have suffered with this constipation, it's awful, it's nasty. So it works, it works. Definitely it's the doTERRA products, because I haven't changed my diet. I know I need to, but it is the doTERRA. It's done it for me.
Thank you, Dorcas. I love her enthusiasm. It's been rectified. Yes, and that's how good we feel when our body is in excellent health. So Jody has another just final, very impacting testimony to tell us as well. Jody, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I can tell testimonies all day. They seem to happen every day here for our lives. But I'll tell you maybe one or two stories. One story that I think is one of my favorites here, and that is a young mama. She had 3 children, and one of them was nursing. And she didn't want to take drugs, but she had excruciating pain because she had a tumor growing at the top of her neck on the back of her spine. It had actually wrapped itself around the spine. And when she went to the doctors, they, of course, they offer surgery, but it was a very complicated surgery because of the way the tumor was wrapped around the top of the bones. And so she said, well, she went to her auntie, and her aunt is a friend of mine, Ruth, who started using doTERRA. And so she brought her niece to me and asked what she should do. So I said, well, I know what we're going to do is we're going to work on detoxifying this body and give her some oils that really permeate the cell membrane. And if you look at a tumor or you look at our cells, there's a fatty membrane, what we call a lipid membrane, going around the cell. And the essential oils go right into that fatty membrane. Some anti-tumor, anti-cancer type of oils that we know have been proven scientifically to be effective for things like this. And we prayed, of course. And so she took the DDR Prime and the Lifelong Vitality Pack, the vitamins, and I think some lemon essential oil, and not too much more than that. And she changed her diet. And in 3 months, she didn't have pain. She went back to the doctor, and the doctor scratched his head and said, well, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something good, because the tumor is gone. And where the tumor was, there's a hole in the bone, and the bone is filling in with fresh bone material. So when she told me that testimony, this woman is very happy, because I love hearing stories like this. And when, people get an answer, and they have been really seeking to find resolution, to find answers for these kind of problems, it makes you really happy. It gives you the deepest satisfying feeling. And I'll share one more quick testimony. There's another friend that I knew in Germany, and a beautiful, beautiful lady. But she had a problem with polyps. And these polyps were quite prevalent in her intestinal tract. And every year she had to go in for a colonoscopy. And of course, that's not too pleasant. And but they had to X-ray and every single year, because they want to make sure that the polyps don't turn into cancer. She did the same thing. She took the Lifelong Vitality Pack, DDR Prime, and I think she even took On Guard on a regular basis. And sure enough, she went back in 1 year. Doctor scratched his head. He said, I don't know what you're doing, but your polyps are gone. And I don't think you need to come back for 3 or 4 years. Well, I thought, well, if you keep doing what you're doing, maybe you can make it even longer, because x-rays are not so good for the body. But and that made me another very happy story. And I could just go on, but I'm going to just end here. And thank you for the opportunity to share again, Caroline.
Oh, thank you, Jody. They're amazing testimonies. So now we're coming to the end. We're coming to the end, and we're going to give you soon an opportunity for questions. So I just want to end with probably the question you already have, which is, how do I buy the oils? So there are 3 ways to buying doTERRA essential oils. The first is at a retail price. No one on this call is going to buy at this retail price because it's the most expensive, and you would only buy it if you were going at if you were at a physiotherapist, at a spa, or in any other professional setting. The second price is a wholesale price. It's similar to the system of Costco. It's not the same, but it's similar. And Costco operates, and doTERRA operate, when you pay a membership fee. So when you pay a membership fee in the UK, it's £24. In the US, it's $35. You get access to a 25% discount on the retail price on absolutely everything, from diffusers to oils to the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Everything gets the 25% discount. So basically, if you buy 3 products, the 25% will pay the membership itself, the savings that you've made. But neither Jodie nor my parents nor Salaya nor I buy at that price. We buy below wholesale. We like the best, and we like to save money as well. And I'm sure you do too. So we started out with a kit, and a kit just means that doTERRA puts together a kit for you, and that's a starter kit. And there's many to choose from. I'll just show you those in a moment. But with this kit, they waive your enrollment fees, so you don't pay the £24 or $35 to start with. So since most of you are in the UK, we'll just go straight to the doTERRA UK website, which is a page that you can actually visit, and none of this is exclusive. You can see this online yourself as well. And there are 3 starter kits. And this was the one that Solaire started out with, and it's called Family Essentials Enrollment Kit. And it comes with 10 essential oils. But these 10 essential oils actually cover 80% of diseases, 80% of sicknesses. So let's have a quick look. We have here many of the ones that we've mentioned. So we have lavender, lemon, and peppermint, which actually in combination work great for allergies. We have melaleuca, also known as tea tree, oregano, frankincense. The king of all oils is actually frankincense. When the Magi, the 3 wise men, came to give Jesus, they gave him frankincense, myrrh, and gold. And frankincense and myrrh have actually got amazing health properties. Deep blue is the muscle mixture, which my dad spoke about for his back. doTERRA Air is the respiratory for breathing issues. Zengest is for digestive issues. It's a mix that doTERRA has done. And On Guard, which we've already heard about, is the antiviral mixture. So this kit is at £112.75, and you've basically got your own medicine cabinet. You're ready for anything that comes your way. Now, these little bottles, just to show you what the size looks like, are like this. This is a 5 ml, which is 80 drops. And usually doTERRA oils, when you buy them outside of a kit, come in this size, which are 15 ml. So they're 240 drops, so 3 times the size of this small one. And we have the same kit of 10 oils in 15 ml. So even though it's 3 times the oil that are in here, you see them there in bigger ones, it's not 3 times the price. It's not £300, it's £238, and you get a diffuser, which is exactly the one that I have, because I started out with this kit, and it was an investment, but looking back, it was the best investment I could have done, because actually in this kit, you get each oil at nearly 40% discount. You won't get that when you buy the oils outside of the kit. And the third option is if you want to go for the Vitality Pack, which is the vitamins. You also have the Deep Blue Rub and a probiotic and enzymes, and 5 small oils, which are 5 of the greatest. One I mentioned, Balance, that I use that in the evenings, that has frankincense and blue tansy, lemon, frankincense, On Guard, and lavender. So all this pack comes at £202.50. And you can see right here that the difference, if you didn't have a membership, it would be £270. So with this kit, you already have your membership thrown in for free, and all these different products at a much better price. So that gives you an idea of how you can purchase the oils, and I'll hand back to my parents now. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. That's really very kind of you. So now we have time for questions. So if Caroline can free the microphones, then we'll have a chance to get your questions, or if you want to put them down in the chat and write them, we're happy to answer them for you.
Mhm.
So microphones are enabled. You should be able to open your microphone if you wish.
Carolina, are you someone? If you could help me, someone mentioned lavender and tea tree oil. That is good for what? You remember?
Ear infections.
Ear infection. Thank you.
Yeah, usually use 2 drops of each and rub them on the outside of your ear.
Right.
I have a question. Is that all right?
Yes, Tony, go ahead.
When Jodie was talking, was it Jodie or talking about the cell, or was it you, Caroline, talking about oil and water don't mix?
Yes.
When you have that, well, how do the oils help the actual hydration? Because if the oil goes into the cell and repairs it, there's still no hydration around. So I've heard, we've been told that a special Gaelic salt in water, so salinated water with the natural salt, actually helps the hydration as well. So I just wondered if you had any comments on that, because I can see that the oils have their effect, but if you actually still build it in with hydration, then that would quicken it to repair the cells. What do you think?
Jodie.
We really encourage people to start drinking water. There are many people who have deficiencies today. One of the deficiencies we see that's very common is a deficiency of proper amounts of water. And some problems that people have is what I learned about years ago, and I had never heard about this before I started my educational path in natural health care, something called cell wall rigidity. Isn't that an interesting concept? But you know, when the cells get rigid, they cannot take in the amounts of fluids. So when we start to get the proper nutrition, I think that has an impact on the cells, as well as drinking a sufficient amount of water, and then the essential oils that permeate into the cell membrane. You know, because of my background being a microscopist or somebody who analyzes blood under the microscope to look at the structure of the blood, the shape of the blood cells, and also what's in the blood cells that could affect the hydration overall. So, you know, we work, most of us who are familiar with doTERRA, we've been educated a little bit in the process of detoxification and cleansing. And I believe personally that we really can't gain good health and even proper hydration in certain cases. We cannot attain that without doing detoxification. We must get rid of poisons, toxins, heavy metals, microorganisms, bacterial forms, fungal forms, yeast, and all the chemicals that are in our environment. So when we start to get rid of these things in the body, we start to see the body really go into repair, which might include proper hydration and the cell's ability to take in water. And I just told my husband today, as he started his day, I said, take just a little pinch of salt, Himalayan sea salt, and put it on your tongue and then drink your water. Because that little bit of sodium, is natural sodium, is it will help you to retain the water, because he was tending to just urinate, you know, so much with drinking, but we want the body to hold some of that water. So that might be a little, just a little tip too.
What about your breathing?
Thank you, Jodie. That's an amazing tip.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Okay. Just to say, I know Candida helped me about my tooth, I had an infection along here on my jaw, and I've been taking the oil of clove only for 2 days now. I did have, unfortunately, some penicillin last week, which I finished on Friday, and that had helped. But I've also been taking bio yogurt all week as well. And so I don't know if that's sufficient for my gut, or I need to take anything else really.
We have a product called PB Assist with doTERRA. And, one of the problems when we have taken antibiotics, Sharon, is that, the real issue is that it kills off all the good bacteria, while the yeast and the candida actually feed on the antibiotic and have overgrowth. So they should be, we should have this balance of good bacteria and yeast. But with one round of antibiotics, we have the overgrowth of the yeast and the lowering and diminishing of good bacteria. So we really need to do the PB Assist. But I would go a step farther, and I would say to get the GX Assist. And one of the things I learned, and again, my education is different than traditional medicine, so I'm going to warn you that I come from a different angle. But I would really take the PB Assist along. First, I would take the GX Assist. Why? Because it has oregano oil, it has melaleuca, and it also has caprylic acid, which helps knock out the overgrowth of yeast. So a lot of times when there's an infection and we take an antibiotic, what I learned from some of the doctors is that it breaks apart the infection, but you can have it revisit you. And what we need to do is really clean out that infection the proper way. And that would be with oils such as oregano oil and the melaleuca oil. The melaleuca oil dissolves the biofilm that many bacteria hide in. And so this is a wonderful thing to understand about the tea tree or melaleuca oil, that it dissolves biofilm that bacteria hide in or under. So if you take one round of the GX Assist, I think it would behoove you greatly. You do it for 10 days, and then you go on after 10 days of GX Assist, you go on to the PB Assist, which is your resaturation of your gut with good probiotics. And depending on where you live, you can go to the store and get good yogurt, bio yogurt, or kombucha, or fermented pickles, or sauerkraut, things that are fermented, because we want to resaturate the gut with good bacteria, friendly bacteria.
That's lovely. Thank you.
So I have another question, Tony.
Yes.
Yes, Tony.
In terms of do the oils and the improvement after the detoxification, and how do they help get rid of things like moles and warts and other things that come through skin conditions?
We want to use topical application to those warts. And it's really funny because one of the ladies mentioned earlier, Ruth, who joined doTERRA just because she heard about lavender oil, and now she's doing the business full time because she just loves the oils. But she had a mole on her finger, and it was a big, ugly mole. And she tried the tea tree, it didn't work. But as soon as it turned brown, but it didn't fall off. Then she got copaiba oil, the copaiba oil on it. The next day, the whole thing fell off. Wow. So sometimes we have to experiment a little bit with the different oils. Tea tree might well work on a mole, and for other people, copaiba, and for some people, arborvitae is another one. The Chinese call it kanja, I think, or something like that. But
I use oregano. I had one on my finger.
What is it called?
So there are several. You mentioned arborvitae, right?
Yes, arborvitae. But you know, these oils are amazing, and it's so wonderful to have a medicinal arsenal with the different oils so that you can try different ones. If one doesn't work, you try another one. You'll eventually find one that will work. I had one on my finger too, and it disappeared. It just gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arbor Vitae, that was one. The other one is Copaiba.
And the copaiba is very, very good to bring down inflammation, and yeah, it fights cancers. The copaiba is very, very good. We have a wonderful sheet on the copaiba.
Ooh. Wow. I don't want to carry on because I've got a long list of
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead. Ask your questions.
somebody. So I have high blood pressure tablets at the moment, and I have also some tablets for the functioning of the liver because it's overactive with protein and I've changed my diet and trying to take out sugar, you know, and things. And the whole thing sounds very practical to me in terms of it's a different way of bringing my body back to a point of being a 21-year-old again.
Yes.
You're breathing.
So, and my breathing, in 2011, I had double pneumonia. So I now live with CPAP and have a machine to breathing. And I sometimes use a rubber.
Obstructive sleep apnea.
Yeah, obstructive sleep apnea. They know we've used oils before, at least I have, and I sometimes rub lavender in the inside of the nose piece, and that really I get a good night's sleep normally. So yeah, I'm very for oils, but I've not heard the detail of a presentation like this. Really good, thank you.
What I found with the is it the family kit, essential kit, is I think as Caroline said, it's like 80%. It's like your new medicine cabinet, and I've taken a picture because in my cupboard now, the top half of it is my husband, and he's got all the stuff that he has. You know, we call him Doctore. You know, he's got everything up there, and then now in the bottom half, I've got all of my oils in there, and you know, he often says, right, okay, this is how I'm feeling today, or you know, I've got a sore throat or what have you. You know, what have you got for that? And we do that. And he himself has been taking less paracetamols, less, you know, of the other stuff that he would generally take, and going more for this because it's just so effective, so natural, and yeah, it's just very effective. Yeah.
Thank you, Salea. Would Jody give us an insight into Tony's condition, the two conditions, the liver and the, would you say how the oils can help him, please?
Yeah. Well, of course, your liver is filtering all your blood, and you have an overactive liver. Is that what you said? So my first question would be why? What's going on? What's in the liver that's causing it to malfunction or to overfunction? So, you know, my first take is the most wise thing I think to do is to, you know, it's like if you had a car and you're driving down the road with your car and it starts to go plup, 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 starts to sputter down the road, and you hadn't given it a oil filter change in, you know, how many years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, you never really did an oil change. Would your car have a problem maybe? So, I'm just giving an analogy. And I would say the wisest thing to do would be to clean up the liver, to do detoxification and cleansing, which would involve all your organs, not just your liver, but your liver, your lymphatic system, your kidneys. To do detoxification and cleansing is a big key. And we like to use the Cleanse and Restore kit for that. And we also, I mean, this is tremendous. Remember, I mentioned the DDR Prime. DDR Prime, I think, is one of the most brilliant products put together by doTERRA besides the Lifelong Vitality Pack. The DDR Prime is a big bowling ball, and it hits a lot of pins when it goes down the lane. So I like big bowling balls. They have lots of really wonderful oils combined in there that are anti-cancer, antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial, antiviral. It's all wrapped up together in DDR Prime. Beautiful. Mwah. Thank you, doTERRA, for making DDR Prime. So I would say, this Cleanse and Restore kit, listen, people spend $10, $20, $30,000 to go to a cancer clinic and detoxify and have them make juices and everything else, which is wonderful. I mean, I think if people can do that, it's wonderful. But we have a kit for a few £100 or wherever you're at, euros or shekels or whatever. For a few hundred, you can get a Cleanse and Restore. I think this is so inexpensive. And to find something put together like this for you is off the chart. It's brilliant. And most of the people I am working with, I start them here and I start them slowly. If people have never detoxified, we start slow, but I'm a believer in this, okay? Because of everything I've seen under the microscope, and my eyeballs have seen too much. So I think this is brilliant and it's wonderful, and it's a huge gift to us from doTERRA that they put this together for us without us having to rack our brains trying to figure out how do we do this. Yeah, so it's brilliant.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you very much. What about the respiratory condition? I didn't get the drugs that Tony is taking for his
back and sleeping issues and so on and so forth. As you detoxify and cleanse and you really get on a path, okay? I mean, it's really a pathway that would include your diet and what you're drinking and some exercise and detoxifying your body. Your lungs are also a part of that. And what happens naturally is that you start to lose weight, you start to lose excess fat because the fat is housing the poisons, the toxins, and everything in your body. And so if you're eating right and you're cutting out sugars and all those starches that turn into sugars, and you have some great coaches there, to help you with that, I believe that you can just throw away that equipment eventually or give it to somebody that needs it. But that's the goal. The goal is to be able to get those lungs breathing, get the weight off that, usually when people are using these machines, they're overweight as well. And so, you want longevity, you want long life, and you want good health as you get older. So, I'll be 70 this next year, and I want to go into my next decade with good health. I don't want somebody taking care of me when I'm 80. I want to be running down the road and, good energy and mental clarity and still helping people. So.
Thank you. That's mazel tov.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you very much.
I can share. I would love to share a tool that's helped us a lot, because, well, we would have all loved to have Jody's experience, but as we start on this journey, sometimes I love to call her and ask her, but sometimes I can't bother her that frequently. So we have helped ourselves with this tool. So I want to show it to you. It's called Essential Life app. Here we go. It's a green leaf. And I'll put, maybe Dad can help me with the link on the chat for that
Yes.
Essential Life app. If you look it up on Google, just look up Essential Life, you can find the page and you can download it to your phone. And then you just need to pay about £4 or £5 a year and you have full access.
It's
to
wonderful.
And it's like having Jody, not with the smile and the kindness, but it's like having her and saying, Jody, what can I use? So Soler was asking us just now about someone who's had a kidney infection. So you can just use this search bar, and write in kidney, for example. And then with these tools here, it can show you ailments, symptoms, or remedies. So I want an ailment. It will filter through and tell me what's the problem: kidney infection, kidney stones, or generally just the organ of the kidney.
Kidney infection.
Yes. So we can click on kidney infection and it will give us a good description just to check. It's a condition that occurs when microbes from the bladder or blood, bacteria, fungi, viruses invade the tissues of the kidneys. And it gives us 5 effective solutions. They will tell us that usually for adults, this is a general statement in everything, 2 or 3 drops, and for children, 1 to 2 drops. And it will give us, in order of priority, what are the oils that work best for this condition, and then tell us how to use them. So it will tell us lemongrass, and it will tell us you can use it in capsule or water, and even apply 1 or 2 drops to the area of concern. Obviously, as we've mentioned, diluted with coconut oil, just to not cause any skin irritations. And then tell us juniper berry, thyme, cinnamon, and cardamom. And as Jody was saying, the essential oils are kind of like when your doctor gives you a medication and it doesn't work. What do you usually do? You go back to your doctor and say, well, I don't think this medication is for me. Can I try something else? Well, essential oils are the same. Every person is different. So maybe Sharon would react very well to lemongrass, but maybe Tony better to juniper berry. You see and you use them. But the good thing is that even if you use lemongrass and it didn't work for your intended use, well, look at all the other things that lemongrass does. Lemongrass is actually anti-cancer, anti-tumor. We have blood pressure. Yes, so it can regulate your blood pressure that Tony was asking as well. Cholesterol.
It's very good for cholesterol. It will bring down cholesterol. And it's very inexpensive too.
Yes, I think lemongrass is at 18 or 20 pounds a bottle, maybe less. Let's have a quick
Yes.
look. So yeah, a bottle of lemongrass is £8, £8.75. There we go. And it's a great oil. So sorry, I've lost my screen there. It's just going back. So that's regarding Soler's question as well about kidneys, but we could actually look at sleep apnea as well here, that Tony was asking about. There we go. Sleep and look at ailments. And there it comes, sleep apnea. So the 5 effective solutions are breathe. Breathe is the mixture that doTERRA has created specifically for breathing problems. And I like mixtures because it's like getting 6 oils for the price of 1, because they mix or more: cardamom, eucalyptus, lemon, melaleuca, which is tea tree, peppermint, and baransara. All of this mixed into 1 bottle, basically for the price of 1 single oil. And this is specifically for breathe. And we have a testimony of one lady who used breathing inhalators, you call them, or inhalers, for nearly 40 years with chronic asthma. And she began to use breathe, both topically over her lungs and in a diffuser. And after 40 years, she could stop using her inhalers. So it wasn't just the thing of, it's a bother. It was actually a chronic condition that was reversed and helped with the oils. So.
Wow.
Sharon is asking whether you can use the oils for animals. In this case, it's their own dog that there are no glands filling.
Yeah, we have to be careful with what oils we use. We need to look them up and make sure that the oil is complementary to the animal. with our doggies, you can let them smell and see what they're attracted to in terms of the oils. This really, your dog will have a natural affinity, you know. And also somebody just contacted me. She went to my veterinarian, and my veterinarian knew that I used essential oils. So she had this lady call me because she wanted to use essential oils to deal with fleas and ticks. So she contacted me and I sent her back. I looked it up online and I saw all the oils to use for fleas and ticks to, you know, mix it up with a cup of water, spray it on the dog. And so she's ready to sign up and buy those oils.
Yeah, another person also who went to the veterinary and to their vet, and they recommended lavender because the dog was very nervous. And I actually did the test myself. I was over at a friend's house, and I always carry around my little purse with the oils in them. And I decided to put some lavender, and because dogs have such an acute sense of smell, and this dog will panic because they were rescued from the street. They would panic whenever they smelled any other dog close by, and they were inside the four walls of the apartment. They were smelling a dog that was walking around outside in the corridor, and she would start to bark like mad. So I put some lavender. I didn't even put it on her nose. I just put it on the palm of my hand and put the hand close to the nose, and you would see in less than 10 minutes she was sitting down and she was falling asleep. She was completely relaxed, and the owners could not believe it. And she hadn't even, you know, dabbed it all on her nose, but just smelt it. So it's wonderful. You can actually look online, and on doTERRA's page, they have written a few articles too about pets and essential oils, keeping pets healthy and happy.
Would we have any answers for that particular condition, the anal glands?
It has an
Feeling.
infection some weeks ago.
Yeah, the anal glands, that my dog keeps having to have the anal glands expressed. And she had then, like the third time, she's had an infection, and of course they give them antibiotics. And she's going back to it all seems to be cleared, but she's going back on Thursday just to be checked to make sure, you know, everything's okay, really.
Right.
I would look it up. I would, you know, if it was me, I would look it up online and I would find a veterinarian that would be telling how to use the essential oils for specific infections. And I would think that, you know, the anal glands are right in the back, because we had a Maltese who used to have to, you know, have them expressed periodically. But, you know, if it's an infection, I would think that you would be able to mix a little bit of maybe tea tree or something like that with a carrier oil and put it around the anal area, and because it absorbs, you know. But I would make sure, I would research it, because I've never we've had puppies now for 1 year now, and they haven't had anything wrong.
Good.
Have to use oils, so I haven't really researched it. But it's, you know, it's very easy to research these things online. And also there's veterinarians that have books out that tell you, so you could easily get a book, and then you have a reference to use the, you know, to use whenever things come up. And so we want to have empowerment to be able to help our own bodies as well as our animals with natural solutions, you know, that have no side effects and don't require a veterinarian. Some things are just simple, you know.
Thank you, Jody. Lady Carol is asking about arthritis.
I'll share this website too, Aroma Tools. They may have shipping to the UK, but we source a lot of our books from here, and they have essential oils for pets guidebook, The Essential Pet, Spoil Your Pet with essential oils.
Can you send me the link, darling, and I will send it to Sharon.
Yeah.
So she will have the, please, thank you. So Lady Carol is asking about arthritis, about her thumbs and wrist, thank you, that are aching. What will be your advice on oils, please?
Well, I know that Deep Blue has been tremendous for pain. So we use the Deep Blue cream, comes in a big tube with a 4-ounce tube. And then that's right, Caroline has it there in her hand. And then we use a few drops of the Deep Blue oil. We've had people with bursitis, and even one man thought he was going to need a surgery on his elbow. The doctors told him he needed surgery. And we just did one application and he had no pain. So he used it again the next day and the next day, and he never needed another surgery. And he didn't have to keep using it. It just somehow went very deep and got to the root of his problem. Now, if you have arthritis, I would also suggest doing some detoxification cleansing and using an anti-inflammatory diet. We have one other supplements along with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which to me, the Lifelong Vitality Pack is the foundation of good health, because we're all missing certain vitamins, minerals, trace minerals. And that Lifelong Vitality Pack provides the foundation for us. And then to that, I would add some lemon essential oil, because the lemon is a detoxer. It helps to clean out all kinds of sediment, and even helps the liver and the urinary tract, so many things. When you order the Lifelong Vitality Pack, you can actually edit it in your cart and add this Deep Blue polyphenol product. And this is an anti-inflammatory capsule that has all your anti-inflammatory constituents to it, such as your curcumin, turmeric, and your ginger, your pomegranate, your grapeseed extract. Has antioxidants, which stops cells from being damaged. And so it has many more things than we see right there. Frankincense also. So it's one of the best combined capsules for inflammation and bringing down inflammation and pain. And we always want to balance the immune system. Yeah.
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you very much.
Go
ahead.
Well, I mentioned trauma, the next little paragraph. Candida and Clara know about this, but in our family, we had a bad accident yesterday, a serious accident, and a 2-year-old child died, and the parents were traumatized. And I did see at the beginning of this something about trauma that oils, and so they're grieving. I mean, they're not Christians, but the husband is having dreams and visions, and he can't get out of having seen his child damaged. And I just wondered whether this came under this category of trauma. But obviously he needs prayer as well.
Can you look that up on your app, Caroline? Put it up there.
Adaptive, you shared a testimony about adaptive on a convention, right?
Adaptive is really wonderful. If you could get the capsules, that would be very good. But even the oil could be very helpful. Melissa is a little bit more expensive oil, but it's very good for trauma and lifting the emotions. It works on the limbic system of the brain. This is balance here. Helichrysum. Roman chamomile is relaxing and soothing to the nerves.
We can look up adaptive as the specific blend you've just mentioned, and it's actually a mix. So it's specific for here we have all the uses: chaotic environments, lack of tranquility, loss of composure, poor coping capacity and anxiety, even helps with menopause, depression, addictive or compulsive or obsessive behavior, lack of motivation, mental fatigue, lack of focus and concentration.
Oh, yes. Wow. This is,
Yeah. And then we look here at the actual ingredients. So it's
adaptive.
Yeah, very good.
so this is called, I've written down, what have I put?
Adaptive.
adaptive.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it has papaya, lavender, magnolia, neroli, rosemary, spearmint, and wild orange.
Yes, thank you. And those are pill, those are capsules.
Yeah, let me just show you here. Oh, there's my parents. They have the roll-on.
The roll-on, that's the roll-on we have here.
In Europe, we don't have access to the pills yet. They're in the United States, and so if you can get somebody to ship it to you from the US, then you can get a bottle of the pills. And
we have the oil as well there.
Yeah, the oil and what we have access to in Europe is the oil and the roll-on.
Right. Thank you.
So it usually comes in this. You can buy it as a kit as well. So this is like we've just shown, the roll-on, the capsules, and the oil.
Thank you.
That's in the US. Yeah.
Wonderful.
I can't quite see how much that is. It says because of the yes, now I can see.
$82 for the kit of 3. That's it from the US. While that arrives, you can also try just the ones in the UK. It's the oil itself for $39.25.
Yes.
And that can't be taken internally, but it can be applied, and smelt and put in a diffuser. Or the roll-on,
in a roller bottle. You can make your own roller bottles with that.
And this one's
yes, make it go farther.
Thank you.
Great news. So we would conclude saying that we are available for consultation one-to-one. We usually would say within 3 days, but because we're traveling, I would say within 1 week. So we would contact you if you want a private consultation. We're very happy to do that with you and actually be able to help you to find the best oil for you and take you to the process of ordering. I think one of the best things about doTERRA is that we are a family. We care for each other, and we accompany people all along the way. Because for all of us, this is a new world. So it's amazing to know that we have people around us, that will be able to help us. And also we got a WhatsApp group. Once people get the products, they can be part of a WhatsApp group and put their questions there. And in this case, Jody and Caroline are part of the WhatsApp group in English. So, that's we want to give the best support. And you can always WhatsApp individually to one of us, to Salea, to ourselves, and we'll do our best, to help you. Yeah, so that's the way of giving you practical support. So we're so happy that you've been able to be with us all this time, and we wish you a very restful evening and night. And thank you, Jody, for taking your time. It's very late in Israel, and you've made such a sacrifice to be with us. Thank you, Caroline, for taking your time as well, and Salea for your support. So together, as a great family, we will help people to be healthy and find healing.